If you are tired being poor, then you must avoid spending money on things that poor people buy. And since you are here, I'll discuss 10 things poor people do with their money which the rich don't. Viewed as one of the wittiest financial advisors and entrepreneurs of our time, Robert Kiyosaki explains financial literacy like no other. In his best-selling financial book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Kiyosaki tells about two kinds of people with two different mindsets. In the first person is the rich dad, the dad to Robert's friend, and the second person is the poor dad, Kiyosaki's real dad. His father, an acclaimed college professor, encourages him to work hard in school to get better grades that'll earn him a better job. The problem with this service is that it doesn't make Kiyosaki rich, as he remains tied to a job and a salary. In contrast, the rich dad inspires him to get a job and learn how to become a better entrepreneur and not remain unemployed forever. Robert chooses to follow the rich dad's advice, and that is why he is what we know him to be today: a bestseller author, podcast host, motivational speaker, YouTube influencer, and unless I forget, a multi-millionaire. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Mr. Kiyosaki is worth $100 million. However, it doesn't surprise that his wealth is mainly attributed to his financial book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which sold 32 million copies in 2002. There are two takeaways from this story. For one, according to Kiyosaki, intelligence solves problems and produces money. Two, also according to Kiyosaki, a person can be highly educated, professionally successful, and financially illiterate. So Robert advocates for financial literacy, and the way to show off for it is by spending your money on the right things. According to him, you must know the difference between assets and liabilities and choose to buy assets. He explains assets put money in your pocket, but liabilities take money out of your pocket. Now, let's talk about the things that take money out of your pocket, the things that make you poor. But before that, if you are new here, consider subscribing to this channel to continue receiving great videos like this. Also check in the description below some excellent resources that will change your life from good to the life you deserve. Here we go. Impulse shopping. Do you know how the rich and the poor differ when it comes to spending money? This is what the late entrepreneur and author James Ron used to say. The rich invest their money and spend what is left, when the poor spend their money and invest what is left. Take it from me, nothing drains the pocket more than impulse buying. I used to buy everything I laid my eyes on after payday, only to realize that I didn't have money the next day. What annoyed me even more was the fact that I bought things I never needed at the time. Today, I'm happy that I don't buy on impulse. At least, not as much I used to. So, I'm hoping that this new trend will continue and hopefully will make me more responsible and accountable for my finances. When speaking about his wealth, American naturalist and philosopher Henry David Thoreau said, "I make myself rich by making my wants few." So some people are just rich because they have fewer wants. Simply put, they don't let the temptations and craving get over them. Takeaway: one of the best solutions to learn to save is refraining from impulse spending. Don't buy on impulse, and you'll spend your money wisely and get to save more. Homes they cannot afford. We expect the rich to live in the most luxurious mansions, right? Well, it may come as a surprise, but most wealthy people don't buy overpriced houses no matter how big they look. Let's take Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim as an example. Though he and his family are estimated to be worth $69.7 billion, Slim lives in a modest home he purchased a few years and doesn't buy expensive things. Warren Buffett is another billionaire who lives in a modest house. He bought it $31,500 some time back. Zara clothing founder Amancio Ortega and Canadian computer scientist David Sheraton are other billionaires with modest homes. If these guys live in modest houses with their billions, why do you have to spend your hard-earned money on an overpriced house? Besides, a bigger house only means more taxes and expensive upkeep. The takeaway: an overpriced home is an expensive liability whose upkeep costs a lot of money and headaches. So save yourself from the financial and emotional headache by only buying a house that you can afford to maintain. Fancy cars. Like rich people don't like spending money on overpriced homes, they also don't like wasting it on fancy cars. You expect guys like Jack Ma, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Larry Page only to drive luxurious cars, right? Well, you're wrong. Even though these billionaires can afford the fanciest bikes, they often prefer to go modest. Alibaba founder Jack Ma, for example, drives a Rowe RX-5 USV, estimated to be worth $15,000, while Amazon founder Jeff Bezos still owns a Honda Accord, estimated to be worth $16,995. Meanwhile, Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg sometimes drives an Acura TSA, estimated to be $30,635, while Google co-founder Larry Page owns a Toyota Prius estimated to be $39,920. So, the rich don't always buy luxurious cars. That's unlike the poor, who spend all their hard-earned money on cars that they cannot maintain. Takeaway: a car is a liability, and the costlier it is, the more expensive it is to keep it. Expensive beautification. Everyone desires to be beautiful, more so in the eyes of the people who matter. But unfortunately, most poor people assume that the rich are more attractive because of their money. So whenever they step into some money, all they think of is getting the most expensive nails and weaves, go to the most luxurious beauty spas, or have a plastic surgery. Even though some wealthy people do that, they have the luxury of doing so, as they can afford it. But if you plan to spend all your money on an expensive beautification solution, then that's not wisdom. A guy like John Caldwell, a billionaire and businessman, cuts his hair, and IKEA founder Ingvar Kamprad shaves his hair in every developing country that he visits as a form of giving back. So not all rich people spend a lot of money to look good. A majority don't. Takeaway: you don't have to spend so much money to look beautiful. Just go for what you can afford, as long as you'll make your look best. Miracle diets and miracle fitness products. Poor people always want things to happen fast. They want to get rich quicker and lose more weight quickly. Concerning the latter, most of them often turn to the so-advertised miracle diets and miracle fitness products to lose weight faster. What they don't realize is that these products often don't work as hyped, and those that do typically come at a hefty price, as the formulas usually cost a fortune. I know people struggling with weight issues who spend almost all their earnings on the formulas. I believe there is nothing miraculous about losing weight. First, you have to exercise and watch your diet. That's the actual formula for losing weight. The takeaway here: don't waste money on miracle diets and fitness products. Instead, eat healthily and work out often. Fortune tellers and good luck charms. Call it insecurity, but as odd as it sounds, most poor people turn to fortune tellers to inquire about their future. Of course, they always want to know if they'll be successful or not. Sadly, they don't realize that the so-called fortune tellers are scams, and they are just there to take their money. Other people buy stuff they call good luck charms, which they wear, hoping that Lady Luck will smile on them with some fortune. I believe there is nothing like good luck charms. They are just products that scammers use to entice you and rob you of your hard-earned money. Do you know what the problem is? According to Roman philosopher Lucius Annaeus Seneca, it's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves for more that is poor. So it's not a lack of money that makes you poor, but craving for what you cannot afford. It's the craving that pushes you to fortune tellers and good luck charms. In Philippines, chapter 4, verse 6, God assures you that you should be anxious for nothing, but through prayers and supplications, let your requests be known to Him, and He will give it to you, His peace, which surpasses all human understanding. So instead of depending on fortune tellers, just cast your anxiety to Jehovah God, and He'll take care of everything. The takeaway here: if you have to hang on to something, hang on to God, and not good luck charms or fortune tellers. Gambling. People with a poor man mindset believe in buying lottery tickets and counting on Lady Luck to help them win and change their lives for the best. What they don't realize is that the odds of them losing are much higher than them winning. That's poor finance management right there. So if you want to keep the money you have to stop losing it. You have to stop gambling and invest the money in a business instead. Take personal finance guru David Ramsey's word for advice. Money moves from those who don't manage it to those who do. From where I stand, gamblers are poor financial managers. Takeaway: Gambling is a matter of luck, and luck doesn't make you rich. Good investments do. Junk food. It's a common misconception that the rich spend money on expensive fast foods. On the contrary, the rich usually are careful when picking their foods. It's the poor who crave junk food, and they spend so much thinking they are saving. But let's face it, what between lettuce and fresh fries is cheap? How about milk and juice? You must agree that junk food is costlier than healthier food. But how come the poor spend so much on junk? Well, it's because they are unable to control their urges and cravings. Once you can do that, you can stick to a healthy diet and be able to save. Consider taking healthy food over junk, as they are not only cheap but also good for your body. Latest trends. Poor people are always the first to buy the latest clothes, shoes, and gadgets, and they forget about the bills that matter. I have no problem with buying the latest trends, don't get me wrong. The problem is spending so much on a fashion that no longer will be relevant in a year or so, and you end up not having enough for essential bills and emergencies. Bill Gates, for example, wears a $10 wristwatch despite being capable of wearing the fanciest Rolexes every day. Rich people like Bill Gates always look for best deals, trying to score the hugest discounts. Takeaway: you don't have to wear the latest trends to be happy. After all, they only cost you so much money for doing nothing. Going out. Do you know what the secret to being happy is? It's not about expensive dine outs and movies. No. Henry David Thoreau puts it, "Then man is richest whose pleasures are cheapest." So if you want to be happy, you'll have to have fewer wants. Watch a movie at home instead of going out. Cook at home instead of expensive dinners. That, my friend, is how you can live modestly, save more, and remain happy. Takeaway: find ways you can cut out on outdoor expenses. If it means staying indoors, but still have fun with friends and families, then let it be so. Now you have 10 liabilities that you should avoid if you don't want to stay poor. Of course, the rich avoid them, and if you want to be as rich as the people you admire, it's about time you do so. Here's another excellent video for you. 10 expenses all rich people avoid. So until next time, take care.